God is still with Israel, both Old and New Testament. The Bible is clear. God's covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is everlasting. It's not suspended, revoked, or handed to another nation. Genesis 17:7-8. And I will establish my covenant between me and you and your descendants after you in their generations, for an everlasting covenant, to be God to you and your descendants after you. Also, I give to you and your descendants after you the land in which you are a stranger, all the land of Canaan, as an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. Jeremiah 31:35-37. God compares the certainty of Israel's continued existence to the fixed order of the sun, moon, and stars. Thus says the Lord, if those ordinances depart from before me, then the seed of Israel shall also cease from being a nation before me forever. Amos 9:14-15. I will bring back the captives of my people Israel. They shall build the waste cities and inhabit them. I will plant them in their land, and no longer shall they be pulled up from the land I have given them, says the Lord your God. Ezekiel 36:24-28. God says he will gather Israel from among the nations and bring them back to their own land, cleansing them and giving them a new heart. Luke 21:24. Jesus said Jerusalem would be trampled by Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. That time has a limit, meaning Israel's restoration is part of God's plan. Romans 11:1-2, 25-29. Paul asks, has God cast away his people? Certainly not. He says Israel's current unbelief is temporary and that the gifts and the calling of God are irrevocable. From Genesis to Revelation, the covenant is intact. The physical return to the land, already in motion since 1948, is precisely what the prophets foretold. Challenge the claim. Israel has kicked out people. Ernest, could you please show clear documented proof that Israel has kicked out anyone from land that they were not first attacked from or not historically tied to under-biblical and legal claims? The historical record is layered. In 1948, surrounding Arab nations launched a war to destroy Israel on the day of its rebirth. Many Arabs left, some by choice, some at the urging of Arab leaders who promised a quick return after victory. At the same time, over 850,000 Jews were expelled from Arab countries between 1948 and 1970. So if we are going to talk about expulsions, history must be weighed honestly. The narrative that Israel alone kicked out people ignores context, war, mutual displacement, and the biblical right to the land. Is it lawful for Israel to drive out the inhabitants today? Short answer. Biblically, God commanded Israel in the past to drive out the Canaanite nations, Deuteronomy 7:1-2, Numbers 33:50-56, but that was tied to a specific period, people group, and divine judgment. In the present time, Israel's lawful claim comes from God's covenant and the right of self-defense. Leviticus 25:23, the land shall not be sold permanently, for the land is mine, for you are strangers and sojourners with me. The land is ultimately God's. He gave stewardship to Israel. Joshua 1:2-4. God gave Joshua the commission to take the land promised to the fathers. Joel 3:1-2. In the last days, God will judge the nations for dividing up my land. That means God still calls it his land and holds people accountable for trying to take it away. Acts 17:26. God determined their pre-appointed times and the boundaries of their dwellings. God assigns nations their land. So, while we are not living in the days of Joshua's conquest, the principle remains. God owns the land, gave it to Israel, and holds nations accountable for opposing that decree. If Israel today takes action to secure its land against those who seek to destroy it, that aligns with biblical precedent and the right of a nation to defend itself. It is lawful in God's sight when done within his covenant purpose, especially in light of the modern prophetic regathering. Please like and subscribe to learn more.